Okay.
What did you do to get me out?
You're ready, Mayor. We can continue.
Okay. The next item that I wanted to bring up in work session and discuss was Michael, are you on?
Yes.
We're going to talk about the community house pavilion brick repair.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. First thing we talk about is the proposal for the pavilion itself. Hammer gave a quote on it of $17,800. And that's pretty much replacing that whole front bay, and then that first bay that the tree actually hit, and then there's some braces and stuff on the second one that they have to replace. And then there was some blocks and all that, approximately 3 foot there they're gonna have to, that were damaged, that little old retainer wall right there at the bottom. And but I would like, I know it's over the $15,000 bid law, but could we, Mary, could we do this, the pavilion, as a public works project? The
pavilion's gonna go under our insurance since it was damaged. The pavilion is, but the sidewalk wasn't damaged by any.
No, that's nature. It damaged it, but the pavilion, could we go ahead and fix it?
Yeah,
because, well, the thing about it, whenever we do, if we bid out the brickwork and all, we're gonna need them out of the way of the pavilion, you know, fixing it. We need to get it fixed first.
okay. We just need Tim to process it with the insurance adjuster. Send the quote to the insurance adjuster.
All right.
Okay. Do we need a motion for him to proceed with that in the council meeting?
For the pavilion?
Yes.
If you want to, you can, yes, sir. Just to go ahead and have them, have AMIC handle the pavilion repairs.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and so it's documented that AMIC will handle the pavilion repairs, if I can give a motion to that effect. Now, the next item on there was the brickwork. Is that correct, Michael?
Yes, sir. I got 2 quotes. One from Hammer. I actually got 2 from Hammer. One on actually removing the old pavers and relining the area and all, and leveling it back up and putting the sand down and putting new pavers down and grouting them. That was $61,238. And now their other quote was pouring a 4-inch cement slab and doing what they call a brick print on it. I know I talked with R&R about it, doing it with asphalt, but it's going to be so hard getting the asphalt down there. With the concrete, you know, they can use a pumper truck and pump it down there. And also the concrete would last longer. And so I think, you know, and the brick pavers, even though they go in there and level it all back up, that ain't to say in 10 years, you know, we're going to have the same problem, you know, sink down stuff. But if they pour that 4-inch slab and put the bricks in there, I mean, put the brick print on it, and according to their quote, they can, they got several different colors, and they won't be able to match it exactly to the old brick, but they think they can get it pretty close. And that was from Hammer. Now this one from Charles and Evergreen Concrete. Evergreen Concrete, their bid on doing the actual work, and that's putting the pouring the slab and all, forming up, leveling it back up, repacking it, and forming up and pouring the slab and doing the stamping and all themselves. And my understanding, Evergreen Concrete, they actually put the dye in the concrete, so it's solid. You know, you ain't got to worry about painting it no more. And then they'll stamp it, but Evergreen Concrete was not going to remove them. So I got a quote from Charles McPherson to remove them. of $4,000. That's to go in there and remove all the pavers and you know, level and get all that cleaned up so Evergreen Concrete can come in there and pour the slab and do the brick print and all. Now there will be expansion joints cut, and they're, you know, it quoted on there. Let me see. Yeah, over 15 foot, and you got to have them expansion joints, or you know, concrete to start cracking on you. But now once they do the you know, once it settles down, they cut them in there and do the brick print. You really won't. They may be a little bit noticeable, but you really, you know, you'd have to kind of look hard to really notice them, I think. But this here, we would have to bid out. I just, you know, got some prices so we know what we was looking at, and it's a little more expensive than I thought it would, but they're gonna have to be fixed. Our insurance company wrote us up for it, and it really is some trip hazards down there.
Okay, so this is something that was not budgeted for, is that correct, ma'am?
Correct, yes, sir. This wasn't budgeted.
The McPherson proposal, is that removing or is that, that's,
I couldn't
Yeah.
understand it, it broke up.
Oh, the McPherson proposal, that's just him removing them for Evergreen Concrete.
okay,
Yeah, he would remove them. Evergreen Concrete said that they would need somebody to remove them, so he would remove them, but Evergreen Concrete would do the actual pouring and everything else.
So now, would this be one proposal, he and concrete?
Sir, you broke up.
I said, would this be considered one proposal, him and Evergreen Concrete?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you'd have to add that 4,000 to the 45,995.
Okay, be over 50,000.
Yeah, it'd be right at it. It'd be 49,995. And I don't know if that could be done as a public works project or not.
Yeah, that's so close.
now these not bid prices, these are estimate prices, correct?
Yeah, so I just got quotes, you know, just to see. We would, in order to receive bids, you'd have to, if you wanted to seal bids, you would have to actually send out a proposal and, you know, get bids back in. But now, if we could do it as a public works project, as long as it, you know, it's under 50,000.
Well, we don't know if it's gonna be under 50,000.
Well, yeah, the quote here from Charles with Evergreen Concrete doing it. Evergreen Concrete's price is $45,995.70, and Charles' price was $4,000. So that puts it at $49,995.70.
Yeah, you think we're gonna get equivalent quality of work from both of them?
Well, I know you will from Evergreen Concrete. Now, as far as tearing the stuff out, and now Hammer, I don't know who exactly they deal with to do their brick print and all. But now I did talk to a guy today out of Evergreen, and he said that Evergreen Concrete does a good job. And they actually have the pattern that, like at the community house, you know, the way the bricks are laid now. They have 4 different patterns to choose from.
I like the idea of the stain in the concrete because I've seen that before. That the end of that helps also.
Well, it does when you mix it, when you put it in the concrete, because if it gets chipped or something, you know that color's still going to be there.
Yeah.
Instead of stamping it and then painting the brick, you know, the whatever color you want.
We did look at just trying to repair it, and that's what's going to be feasible.
No, sir. Everything's going to have to come up. That one place where we actually took a brick out to look at them, to see what was under there. There was a void under there about, I would say, a little over a foot deep. So everywhere it sunk, I imagine there's voids under there. And that big spot right there in front of the pavilion, it's sunk down real bad. So all of that's gonna have to come out.
Okay.
And the good thing about going back with the slab and the stamp, you know, it'll hold up for a lot more years than it would just going back there and putting pavers back down.
Okay.
Okay, now, I imagine this is something that was not budgeted for either. Was that correct, Mary?
Correct.
Okay, so if we move forward with this, where will our funding come from?
That's a good question, because we have our general fund contingency that we could pull from, or the ABC fund, but I don't know if it would be best to just wait until October and get it repaired and budget for it in capital improvements.
It probably needs to be out of capital improvements, but we don't have any leeway there, do we?
No, sir, we don't have a contingency fund in capital improvements yet.
Yeah.
So that's the recommendation, that we wait till October to.
We could wait till October to do the
Yes,
project.
repair.
Yes, sir.
Does that have any
Uh-oh, you're cutting up, mate.
impact on our interest?
It's not on the agenda, no, sir.
Low?
They freeze again.
It
Which
doesn't, it has no impact on our insurance rates? Yes.
No, so that's more of a just a nature thing, you know, the bricks sinking in like that. Now the thing about it, if we wait until next fall, will we rent that bottom part out? Because there is trip hazards down there on them brick. You can trip on them, and somebody was to snag their toe or something and trip, you know, maybe a lawsuit. But now I will mention this. You know, we have 20,000 budgeted in capital improvement for sidewalk repair, and you know, we do have a few small places we need to try to patch, but we probably could get by until next year on that if we, you know, use that 20,000 towards this, and then if we could find somewhere else.
Okay.
Or you know, didn't we budget 300?
What are the council's wishes?
Didn't we budget 350,000 for street paving?
We did. The
Well,
city street resurfacing project.
Yeah.
We're waiting to hear back from Jeremy and Paxton from AlDOT to see if we received that grant.
Yeah, my understanding on that is too, I don't know the whole story on it, but if we don't get the grant in January, we could go ahead and do the paving, and then say in the summertime when if they have, you know, money left, they're gonna do another round of it. That ain't, you know, 100% for sure what they're gonna do another round. And then if we get it, since we done already put that money towards paving, we still eligible for that $250,000 to do more paving with this year.
Mary, could we take it out of the match that we budgeted for the sidewalk project that we're not doing now?
We didn't budget any this year for that TAP grant.
Okay.
Because we were told to budget in 2022 for that. So we didn't have anything on the books for the TAP project.
Okay.
I mean, Michael, did you order your Ford truck?
It's already ordered.
Oh.
Michael, if you spent that 20,000 on that now, when you go back next fall and we're gonna redo the project, you're gonna have to tear all that up and start over?
No, sir. The sidewalk project, that's just sidewalks around town when one gets damaged.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about over at the community house.
Community house?
Yeah, if you spent 20,000 over there now,
No, well, I'm talking about use that 20,000 if we can find the rest of it from somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
And, I know we budgeted 350,000 for the paving, but could we take some of that money and put towards it?
No, we need to pave streets.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not in my opinion.
Okay, well, what do y'all want to go back and we bring this up at the next council meeting and see if we can identify some funding to do this?
That'd be fine. I think we need to go ahead and get everything corrected down there at the community house best possible as soon as we can.
Michael, can you put up something on that
Okay,
area
well,
that,
that's what I'm saying. We'll go.
sorry. Michael, can you put something up to make it look as a fall hazard so people are aware of the area?
Now we've got the caution tape up. We're gonna have to restrain it because people go over there every now and then and tear it down, and we have to go back and put it right back up. But we've had caution tape all the way around it.
Well, let's go ahead and what we'll do, I'll get with Mary and Michael, and we'll look at possible funding sources for this. And I think we'll just carry over until the next council meeting on the 19th.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
now on the pavilion, repairing it. So we're gonna go ahead and y'all gonna do a motion on it tonight? So we can go ahead and get the pavilion fixed?
Yes,
So AMIC could take care of all of that, right?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's just like we did out there. It'd be like we did when we gave AMIC the authority to go ahead and repair the roof out there at the incubator.
Yes, sir.
So that basically carries over to the same thing. Okay. Did everybody get the information about discuss the public participation and privileges of the Floyd council meetings?
I did not.
Well, I know I sent that out along with the farm thing, but Ms. Jackson had worked on a draft of an ordinance. And I don't know if you guys have received that at this point yet or not.
No.
I received it. It looks good to me.
Okay. Well, if you guys hadn't received it, I would really like for you to get a chance to go through and look at it and read over it, because there was a couple of things I wanted to make sure that we included in it. And that was limits on some of the things to be discussed, such as personnel matters, people not bringing up pending criminal investigations, the general reputation and character of an individual, with some items that I looked at. So, but if everybody else has not received this, then I will make sure that you get this out. Al, you say you received a copy of it? Okay. If everybody
What was the
else
name
didn't
of it again?
receive it, then
What was the name of it again?
Was
The
to
mayor sent an
discuss the
email.
public participation and privileges of the floor at the council meeting.
Okay.
The
And
email that the mayor sent it
This would have been
in,
an ordinance.
he sent on Wednesday, December 30th at 2:49 to everyone. And then I just resent it. It says the subject line is items for review.
That was in with the
I got it.
landscape.
I got it.
Yeah, I just got it. I didn't have it before.
Okay. Well, if we're not actually prepared to discuss it, because like I say, this goes back in it's an ordinance that we will adopt. And I would like to give everybody an opportunity to go through and really study over it before we actually take into consideration of passing it. So if you're not had an opportunity to study over it, I guess the best thing to do, if y'all agree, is carry over to the next meeting. Okay. I couldn't hear you, Ms. McDaniel. You were saying? You have to unmute. Right. Okay, Ms. McDaniel, your mic is showing that it's muted. I can't hear you.
Can you
Okay,
hear me
there
now?
you go.
Okay.
Yes, I
said,
can hear you now.
yeah, could we maybe look at it and discuss that at the next meeting? You can't hear me. You still can't hear me.
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, you
We
good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were saying part of it broke up. You were saying to.
Could we look at it and discuss this at the next meeting? Because I didn't get a chance to see it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll carry over to the 19th.
Okay, thank
Give
you.
everybody an opportunity to look at it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The next item on the agenda was talking about the Mardi Gras Cajun Takeover event. And right now, with as much COVID as we got going on in Monroeville, I don't see being able to do this.
I agree.
It's an open market, and you know, I think that's one that we need to hold off on. I know we had discussed in the parade where it would be a reverse parade where nobody would get out of their vehicles, and you know, wherever it was, they would pass by the floats and they'd be handed to them. I don't see that as being a high risk, but I think this Mardi Gras Cajun Takeover event would be a high risk, and so we probably need to cancel that.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. And,
So
I agree with that.
okay.
and I
Okay.
have real
Well, when it
concerns
comes up-
about the parade.
Excuse me.
I said, I have concerns about the parade, not so much about the parade itself, but about the groups getting together to work on, you know, the floats and all. So I don't know if you got 8 or 10 or 12, 15 folks working on a float. I mean, I don't know, but maybe they'll kind of, you know, take care of it themselves and be cautious, I hope, because we just out of space, hospitals and everywhere else right now, so.
Well, that's my understanding, that they would go through and they would, the floats would be spaced apart with barriers between them and the vehicles, and they would just pass the items to the people in the car. And nobody would get out of the car and mingle with the, you know, the parade participants.
I was just thinking primarily about the groups getting together, you know, to build the floats and all that, but maybe they'll kind of, you know, take the precautions that they need to, I hope.
Take over. Go ahead. I hope I'm not frozen up again.
You're still fine.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna have too much elaborate float participation, but we'll have some. And I'd like to willing to try this to see how it worked. At least be doing something.
Yeah. And like I said, that was the reason they call it a reverse, so you don't have all those people out there intermingling together. They have to stay in the vehicle.
Yes.
And and go out. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I know we talked about the Vanity Fair Lake project update. I don't know if we can, we're a little early. Do you think we can get them on the phone, Mary?
Give me just 1 minute. I'm going to send them the direct link, Jeremy and Paxton, and I'll see if they can log on now.
We got the road tore out on the.
Okay.
They said, give us just a second and we will log in. So they'll be in with us in just a minute.
Okay. Okay, Jeremy. Okay. Jeremy, can you hear us? Think you gotta unmute your mic.
All right, I think I'm where I need to be.
Okay. We were down and we were asking for an update on the lake project. Yeah, I think we may have had some questions. If you guys are available to go ahead and give us an update.
Yes, sir. Are there specific questions that we could answer, or you just want a general update?
Question that I had,
Let's talk about the water main first.
was the lake not going to be dredged or cleaned out?
Okay, I can't see everybody, Mr. Larry, but I can see, I guess, whoever's talking. Paxton, were you able to join in on the call or not?
Yeah, I'm here. We're pulling over. How's everybody doing?
How you doing?
Good, good.
Well, good. Yeah, we're pulled over here now, so we should be good to go.
Paxton, you're sideways.
Sideways. Let me see if
There you are. I knew
Now
you were a little
that'll work.
He looked better the other way.
I was straight on my end, and Mr. Larry said I look better the other way. I mean,
That's right.
I need to turn it back.
Paxton, you want to go ahead? I can talk water main if you want to give them an update. Answer Larry's question. I don't mind, but go ahead.
Yeah. So let me just give you a quick update. The project's still moving along nicely. Mr. Larry, the pond, for the most part, the lake, I should say, has been cleaned out to the extent that we had set up in the plans. Now, if there was an expectation that the entire lake was going to be dredged, We apologize for that just because that was not our expectation. We could go back and look at the original presentation that we gave to y'all back in, I think it was August of 2019. And the plan was to just dig out the sedimentation that was visible before the lake had been drained, which is going to be right there, would be on the east end of the lake that was, had a really large buildup of sedimentation. Now, since then, and that we were able to pull out the fingers, we were actually able to pull out a lot more sedimentation than we had set up in the plans. And that came through the change order. But to say that the entire lake was going to be dredged, that was never our intention, and it was not set up that way in the contract.
Well, there was reference to these folks, they had cleaned out settling ponds at paper mills and all that kind of stuff. So to me, that's what I was expecting. My expectation was that the lake was going to be dredged, cleaned out, or whatever. And maybe it was just a misconception on my part, but it looks like the Dickens over there right now.
Well, it is, and these last few heavy rain events haven't really helped with that, just because everything's been very wet. And I hate to tell you this too. Unfortunately, it looks like the contractor may be fighting some COVID issues right now. They actually had 2 guys out there this morning who ended up having to leave first thing just because they were too sick to even work today. He's supposed to, and when I say he, the project manager for the contractor, is supposed to let me know tomorrow morning kind of what their next few days look like because of COVID. They actually were going to send everybody in their company today to get tested. I guess that's just the year we've been having to deal with, and something that's kind of out of our control when it comes to that. But I agree with you, Mr. Larry. It does look kind of messy over there right now. There's no doubt about that, but just know that it's going to be taken care of.
That was my understanding too, that we were going to scoop out the whole lake. But
I just thought maybe it was me, but because all that gook and stuff that's being left in there, it ain't gonna be good.
Well, and Michael can speak more to this than I can, but I think we actually had Mr. Lum Childs come out there yesterday, and Lum does this type of stuff every day, all day, and he says to him the lake looks pretty good. You could go in there and dredge the entire lake. It's obviously going to cost a lot more money. And one reason that we didn't dredge the entire lake was just to be able to provide a project that was within your budget. But according to Mr. Lum, he's satisfied. He actually came out and looked at it yesterday. He's satisfied with how the lake looks. It's not really going to be an issue as far as, 20 years down the road. On the upstream end, there's some other conversations that we may need to have, but everything that has been cleaned out right now, assuming that we don't get some massive sedimentation coming from somewhere else, what it is right now should hold up for quite some time.
Well, I don't really think 20 years from now that I'll be worrying about it.
Indeed.
I don't think I will.
No, I was there actually yesterday, Mr. Larry, looking at it. Paxton's going to be there tomorrow checking on it. Of course, we've got Wiley there. Of course, COVID's changing some things, but we wanted to get Lum over there just because he's got a vested interest in the lake, and he's got some history with his dad having built some of the original facilities. So it was good. It was good for him to kind of bless where we were on the actual lake portion, knowing we still got work to do in the sedimentation pond.
Yeah, I just wish it had worked out where he could have got the job.
Yes, sir. Us too. You can't beat Mr. Lum. Now, I think there were some questions related to the water main that you maybe had mentioned, Mayor, right before Mr. Larry asked his question. Where we're at with the water main, there's actually a water main that's essentially running through the sedimentation pond. It was put in. We don't know exactly when, but it was after the pond was constructed, but while it was still, silted in some. So it's going to have to be lowered. No way anybody could know know that. So we're working on pricing with that right now. So obviously that's not the city. That's going to be running through and approved by the water board. I don't know how many of y'all know this, but Williams actually got COVID. His wife's got COVID. She's in the hospital, but we're working on getting some pricing from contractors right now to lower the water main, and ultimately it'll be Williams' call on, or he'll have some say in who we use. But when we get pricing back in a recommendation, we're going to bring that to the mayor and to William, and hopefully we'll be in a place to do that within the next by Monday is our goal, if not before.
Jeremy.
Jeremy, I got a question. Is it possible that they can run that main down the road instead of through that sedimentation pond?
It is. The only concern Williams gonna have is putting that main under the so when the water flows into the pipes out of the sedimentation pond, there's gonna be a drainage structure built there. It'll be wing walls and a head wall and a concrete apron. And to put it on the shoulder of the road, you would actually have to run it under that concrete apron. And it's just getting William comfortable with doing that. He generally likes to have all his water mains where he can access them and not be under concrete. So we're going to give him those two options with pricing, and he's going to advise us on which one he wants to do. But we prefer to have it on the shoulder of the road.
And I was talking with Michael about it a little bit earlier, and Mr. Childs made a recommendation about a device to help slow the sedimentation.
Correct. So what Mr. Lum was talking about is a flashboard riser, from what I understand. And so as part of our pricing, we're going to get contractor pricing from two different folks on the water main. One's going to be from the prime contractor that's doing the work, Prim Mitchell. And the other is going to be from a contractor from over this direction who's actually doing work for William right now, L&K Contracting. And but as part of us getting pricing on the water main from Prim, we're also going to get him the price putting in this flashboard riser. We're drawing up a detail right now. That way he can accurately quote it. So stay tuned on that. Yes, sir. Probably be Monday before we have something on that, assuming all goes well. With Prim and him being able to get us a price back.
Oh, Jeremy, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I got you.
One thing we need to make sure of whenever we put that riser in there, that board riser, we need to make sure that the pipes are size big enough to handle the water, that's going to be coming down through there and during a storm. Because you're gonna have certain times you're gonna have a good bit of water coming through there, and those risers, if you got too small of a pipe, may not work right. It may make it overflow the road.
Sure. Yeah, we'd actually talked about what the effect of that flashboard riser was going to have on the capacity of the drainage pipes. We're comfortable where we are right now, but when you add that so that's why we're trying to work through the detail right now. We don't want to just send Prim a loose picture. We want to be comfortable with what he's actually going to bid on.
Well, now, Mr. Lum had told me yesterday evening that there's a company out of Mississippi. He said he could get us in contact with them that actually builds those risers for people. And do you like
that over? Let me send you the detail that we're working on, and before we actually move forward with sending it to Prim for pricing. Okay. What we're talking about was actually possibly integrating it into the wing walls.
Yeah.
I mean,
it needs to be the mouth of where the mouth of the pipe is. It probably needs to be at least 6 to 8 feet away from them.
Yeah. We were thinking about trying to be toward the end of that apron and build it into the concrete structure that's already there.
Yeah.
So the option is to prefab something out of a fab shop, but if we could build it integral to that formwork, because they hadn't started on any of that. But it's such a long span. That's why we're trying to work on the detail. You're gonna have to have some intermittent supports in there between the pipes to actually make it work. It's gonna get a lot of pressure between the water and the sedimentation.
Okay, let me ask you this question. If, you know, Mr. Lum told me yesterday evening that that settling pond is supposed to be 8 foot deep. Now, if you lower that pipe, what would be the chances of whenever we do go in there and clean it out again of hitting that water line?
Well, now what we're talking about doing is lowering the water line below anything we're going to dig to.
Okay.
So we're talking about lowering the water line 6+ feet. So if it's in the shoulder of the road, it's not going to be an issue. But if it stays in the pond, obviously it's going to have to be 6 foot deeper than what it is right now.
Okay.
So the depth of the main will depend on where it's located, and that's going to be a call that William's going to make.
All right.
Which is going to be a function of the cost and whether or not he can get comfortable putting it under that concrete apron on the shoulder.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions on the progress of the lake project or any other project?
I don't have any. Does any other council members have any? Now, let me ask you this, Jeremy. This this item that we're talking about putting in to control it, is that an increase in the cost to the project itself?
Just go ahead. You Paxton's going to be in a better place to answer that.
And I'm going to tell you, probably you're not going to like my answer. Just hang on and let us find out on that first. It may or it may not, because what Jeremy's saying, if we can incorporate it into the wing wall structure that we pour, I don't think we're talking about very much. So let us take some look at the details and get with the contractor on that and talk with him before we say whether or not it's going to have a significant increase or not.
Okay.
But as soon as we know that, we'll get with you and the council and let y'all know before we make any decisions on whether or not we proceed with that option or not.
Okay. Well, the next council meeting is on the 19th, so hopefully that'll give you enough time to.
Yes, sir. And I think we'll definitely have an answer by the 19th. That shouldn't be a problem whatsoever.
Yeah, the biggest hurdle we're up against right now, besides COVID, with the contractor, is going to be getting the water main lowered. Because what we're talking about on the drainage structure itself and this modifying this structure, it's not a decision we need immediately. We got a little bit of time.
Okay. All right.
And then one last update. I know nobody from the county's on this, but just want to thank the county for their participation. And they actually hauled out quite a bit of field material for the parking today, started on that today. So just a special thanks to the county for helping with the project in that fashion.
Great. And that's basically enough for 7 parking spaces, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct. There will be 7 parallel parking spaces that run across it'll be on the east side of the lake, just like we showed in the sketch a few weeks back.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any other questions concerning the lake? Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank y'all.
Thank y'all and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See y'all.
See y'all later.
Take care.
Okay, the next item was. Okay, there were some items that I wanted to go through and discuss on my time, and it kind of goes back and relates back to the lake. As you know, the Smith Foundation provided us a $7,500 grant to restock the lake with fish. The only issue is, as we've gone through and we cleaned the lake out, becomes a question of once you restock, do the fish have anywhere, the first stocking, do they have anywhere to, that can secure them from predators and this type of thing and give them time to grow before we actually put in the bass and the catfish. And one of the things that we looked at was some fish attractors for the lake. And I talked with Mike about this, and we actually went through and found some attractors that would go into the lake, and we can get, what is it, Mike, 12 of them?
Yeah, so 12 of them for a little under $2,000.
Right. And this would, I would go back and I will send, I'll get Mary to scan pictures of it and send to you guys. But what it does, it goes back and it allows it allows protection for the baby bluegill and things of that nature. They actually have places cut in there where the fish can go in and get away from, you know, all of the predators. And so I think if we're going to go back and talk about using this lake for recreational purposes, that there would be a worthwhile investment to put in it. And that would give them, give the population time to get to a size where it can sustain when we put the catfish and the bass in it. So
Is this just for the fryers?
right, it's basically for the fryers and your bluegill. Because see, over time, these items here, they will develop algae on there and actually provide more cover.
Right.
Is that correct, Michael? Is what we were.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also, those have small holes in them where the smaller minnows and the small brim can actually get inside of them. And the pipes and all is just something to kind of keep the bigger fish from actually catching them so
getting
quick.
into them. Right.
You know, and when the algae does grow to it, that's a place for them to attach their eggs to. And also it's a source of food right there for them. You know, they'll be able to feed right there. And from what I've seen on it, it's not saying you can't get hung up on them, but with that made out of PVC like that, your hook won't go into it. You know, your line can actually get wrapped around it. You know, if you hit it just right. But as far as the hanging up is less, you know, than throwing trees and stuff out there.
That'd be the safest and more economical thing to do is put those out there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about them no more.
No, yeah, once you put them out there, they're gonna stay there. And every year, once the fish breed or whatnot, then their fryers will have somewhere to go. So
yeah,
and they'll probably end up going to that spot where the algae is to lay their eggs.
Yeah.
Right. But what we'll do, we'll come up. I think is the Michael. If we get 12 of them, the shipping doesn't cost us anything, right?
Sir.
There's no shipping charge if we buy 12, right?
Well, what I seen on their website, if you order the 12, the shipping's included.
Okay. All right.
Hey, what did you look at for that?
It was on a company on the web. It's Honey Hole Tree. It's the Pond King website. The pond guys actually sponsor this, so they got one website. It's the pondguys.com.
Mm-hmm.
And they have several different things on there, and there's also videos on that website that actually show you how they work and what the benefit is and everything.
All right.
Do you want to try to log in from here? Okay, sorry about this, guys. I've been having issues trying to go through and get on board. I actually had to come in and get to Mary's computer so I could actually hear. Mine kept freezing up. Let's see, we have, okay, we do have a request to appear before the city council by Mr. Keon Thompson, in which he wanted to discuss Closell community youth concerns. Okay, he is connected right now. Okay, Mr. Thompson, would you unmute your mic, please?
You wanted me to unmute it or you wanted me to keep it muted?
The unmuted. Mr. Thompson, I know that you asked to address the council concerning Closell community youth concerns.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there are some guidelines. We have a 5-minute limit. We're not able to go through and discuss any issues that involve pending criminal matters, personnel issues, anything of that nature. I don't think your discussion concerns any of that. So it's about the youth concerns there across their community. So if you would like to begin, you can address the council at this time.
All right. Mr. Mayor, thank you for allowing me to be here. But you didn't have to give me that disclaimer because you had already told me that. But I will say that my proposal to you all is that it needs to be some type of engagement and involvement between citizens and police that can cause for a better tomorrow for us all. Our community, and I speak for the Closell community when I say this, we don't necessarily have anywhere for our children to go or do, and they're out here just seeing all of this madness. They're out here seeing all of this violence going on each and every day, and it really needs to stop. And one of the proposals that I had proposed to the past administration and the current administration who is in the police station right now, I asked them to, work with me and be, more involved with what I was doing, and let's turn it into a police athletic league. And that way you would have the police athletic league as a whole. You would have parents, which are civilians. You have police officers, which are civilians, either working together, either coaching or playing together. And that helps them know who they're actually policing. The main problem with the police here in Monroe County, and particularly in the Closell area, is that they don't know who they're policing. And they might have went to school with some of these people, but some of these people have changed and became parents and have became different and better because of they have children. And one way that the police athletic league can help with that is if that, like I said, they were working together to help raise these children up so that they don't have to help lock them up together. It's so much of that going on where we just we're electing to throw our kids away and not deal with them rather than or rehabilitate them when they're all messed up rather than keep them correct. Not saying that everybody's gonna be perfect, not saying that the system's gonna be perfect, but if we can catch them at a younger age and get them growing up in the right way, even if they stray from that way, they'll come back. Something like the Bible verse says, you train a child up, he's gonna part from those ways, but he'll come back and be a better person because of all of the trials that he went through. Now, I, and along with myself, have been running this basketball league and the other leagues in the community, and the city has given us little to no help, when in fact it's actually the city's job to create recreation for the people in the city, and that's not necessarily what's going on here. It's not what's going on at all.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
I think you need to talk to me about that. do you have a committee, or are you just doing this on your own?
Well, I mean, yeah, I have coaches that help me. Parents. They're not certified coaches. They should be, because they really know the game. But I have some parents that help me. But for the most part, I'm doing this all on my own. I've reached out to the city and to the school board for this help, but no one seems to want to help. It's just like they're just doing enough to just get a check and move forward.
Well, I think you're in Anthony's district. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you might
in
need.
past times, it was thought or known that I would have been in your district, but since this last election, we come to the realization that we are in Anthony's district. Hold on one second. Hey, Rush.
I think
Hey,
what
let
you
me
need
know
to
about
do.
them Girl Scout cookies. Oh,
I think what you need to do
all
is
right.
get with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Okay.
you need to get with us and talk to us about this, because
Mhm.
I think the children in the community are doing real good. And, you like bringing in the police department and all of this, so you need to talk to us about this, and then maybe we can help you out.
When you
Am
say
I
us,
right,
you
Anthony?
mean, when you say us, you saying who?
Anthony and myself.
Yeah, well, that's all I'm well. But Anthony knows what I've been doing around here. And I would assume that also. But everybody, I don't think nobody don't know what I've been doing around here. Not nobody who can help. And I mean, I've reached out to a number of
you're
people.
really concerned about the children, am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Hey, Ken.
I think the children are doing good in this community.
Well,
And then, like, we have a Clydesdale Park. They can go down there. We have several things that they can do.
yeah, but the Clydesdale Park was leased to the YMCA, and the YMCA, what they do is it kind of excludes a lot that the kids can do. You don't even know why they was allowed or able to even lease the park. I mean, so that they could have rule and jurisdiction over it, because like that YMCA is membership only, and not everybody can attain a membership there. I know for facts that not everybody have a bank account, and the only way that you can be a member at the YMCA is if you have a bank account. Now, in my mind, that tells me that they put that into play. It wasn't always like that. They put that into play. Go
Hey,
ahead.
Keon.
Mr. Thompson, we're going through it too, and the Councilman McDaniel and Councilman Thomas have heard the thing we're going to pass at the 5-minute limit. So we have heard what your concerns were.
I couldn't hear you, sir.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear you.
Okay. What I was saying is that we reached the 5-minute limit that was set, and Councilman McDaniel, Councilman Thomas have heard your concerns. And at some point, hopefully we'll get you together with them and have some discussion in what you were talking about on the police athletic league. Hopefully, as I said, we are working toward doing a community-oriented policing program. We've not gotten to that point yet, but we're working toward that. So we do appreciate your comments and everything, but our time is up at this point. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you too.
Okay. All right. That was my take on the facial characters of the lake. I'll go back and I will get information on that, and we will consider that at the next council meeting. I can identify a funding source for you if that's a position on which the council wants to proceed. Our next item come up was that we got a legislative session that's going to be coming up and start in February. Are there any items that we need to look at bringing before the legislature that anybody is aware of? Okay. My next thing I wanted to talk about was the food bank at the community house. And there's a good possibility that beginning in March that they would need to come back to the community house and at the same rate that they were participating at before. And I think that was a half rate. So as we go into I want to make you aware of that so you can be thinking about it. I would like to take some action on it at the next council meeting. Okay.
Mayor,
Yes.
I got a question. Hey, I couldn't really hear you right before the last thing you said. You said something about legislature.
Right. The Alabama legislature goes into session sometime in February. And my only question was, are there any items that we need to proceed with to present before the legislature?
What all would that entail? Like roads and stuff like that?
Annexations is one. And I don't know of any other issue right now off the bat, but I will go back and I'll do some research to see if there's anything else that might would affect the city.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll reach out to Senator Albrecht and see if he knows of anything.
Okay.
Okay. And like I said, the other one was about the food bank, and I will get something prepared for you. I'll reach out and touch base with Pete. Probably they want to go back to the community house and with the same arrangement that we had in the past, which they were probably asking for a half the rent. Just for the council's information, I received an email that was saying that the MLK parade was not going to be held this year, that they were canceling it due to COVID. So I don't think that's an issue we'll have to come up with. The other issue is we have the hiring of 2 firemen.
Ms. Jackson, can you hear me? This is Frank.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, good.
Okay.
I'm having computer trouble, so I'm on my telephone outside. I appreciate everybody getting on today. This is a public hearing. If you want me to go ahead and start, Mayor, now with that.
That's 450. Yes, sir. If we can get an invitation, Mr. Mellon.
You want me to do it, Mayor?
Yes, that'd be fine.
Okay. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and the many blessings and opportunities that have been ours. Lord, we would be remiss if we didn't pray for all of the sick and ill in our community and in our area at large. We just pray, Lord, that you will heal the ones that are dealing with this virus issue. Just pray that you'll, we'd like to lift them up and pray, Lord, for them and their families, Lord, and just pray that this vaccine will be administered just as soon as possible, and the ones that need it will be able to get it. Lord, we just pray that you'll be with this meeting, everything that's done, be within the realm of your pleasing grace. We just pray now that you'll go with us, lead, guide, and direct us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay. The purpose of the public hearing is to review the CDBG closeout information. And Frank, I'll turn it over to you to present.
Thank you, Mayor. This is Frank Dobson. We're the administrator of the CDBG grant. I work with Alabama Tom-Bigby Regional Commission, and the project is getting to the end now. And to close that out, one of the requirements of ADECA is to hold a closeout public hearing. The CDBG number for this project is LREDIN-18-007. And to bring the council members up to date, and Mayor, the City of Monroeville applied for funds through ADECA back in November of 19. The City of Monroeville was fortunate enough to be in receipt of a $100,000 grant to improve city property, which is the Hornady Sawyer building, with HVAC improvements, painting, electrical wiring, acoustical ceiling frames, and improving the break room and bathroom in that building at the time. J&L Industrial Services, LLC, with their principal, Clint Jordan, agreed to start a new business and to create 40 jobs if the city would improve the incubator system building at that time. We went through procurement. The City of Monroeville at that time hired architect Mr. William Peake from Montgomery. The project was bid. Contractor was S. Wright Construction out of Montgomery in the amount of $107,798. All work now has been completed on the project. All that's left to do is a final drawdown, which will be submitted with the closeout paperwork, Mayor. The company has created 64 jobs with this project. They actually pledged 40 in the application at the time, so they exceeded their pledge by 24 jobs. To finish out the project now, what we'll do is the mayor will sign some of the closeout forms and drawdown, the final drawdown to be submitted into ADECA. Then the city will receive back the paperwork from ADECA, officially closing out the project at that time. No more reporting will be required at that time. After the project, we receive the closeout paperwork back at that time. Again, the grant amount was $100,000. The City of Monroeville will have put in $30,875 into the project, making a total project cost of $130,875. Mayor, I'll entertain any questions now, if you'd like.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Okay. My only question, Frank, at this point, do you need a motion for us to close this up?
No, so do not need a motion at all. Let me just say that this project went very smooth. I want to thank Ms. Jackson and the staff there for doing this, and thank Mr. Jordan on doing what he pledged to do with this project. We have some open ED projects throughout our region now where pledges were made to receive ADECA funds, and the job creation has not happened. This company came in and they hired the people they promised to do, and that's why we're getting this thing closed out in a little over 12 months' time. But we do not need a motion or any action by the council.
Okay. All right. Okay, there being no further comments on the public hearing, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Dobson.
All right. Thank y'all so much, Mayor, and I'll be in touch to get with you for appointment to sign this final paperwork.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye. It's almost 5 o'clock. The only other thing I had concerning the work session is that we have an item on the agenda that's coming up to talk about the hiring of 2 firemen. And the rates at which they would be hired at come off of the existing pay scale that's already in place for the city. The only question that comes up is that one of the firemen, if I'm not mistaken, it is Mr. Michael Shane Kane. He has 11 years experience. His hire date would be effective after the transition to the 24 hours because he is still planning to work at Bruton's fire department. And so there was a recommendation to use a salary amount, not an hourly amount. And I guess we can hold that until we get closer to the date. Yeah. And the other fireman is a trainee who is Mr. Brandon A. Bland. And he's a firefighter recruit that would be coming on. So we will be addressing these issues when we get into a regular council meeting. But I wanted to make you aware of it as we prepare to move in that direction. It is almost 5 o'clock. And so, you know, we're in the work session, prepared to go into the council meeting. Okay. Okay, John and ladies, if we can do the pledge of allegiance, please. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the
and to the
republic
republic which shall stand
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty and
liberty and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Thank you. I believe that the minutes for the last work session, the regular meeting, special call meeting held on December 21st, the special call public hearing held on December 21st, and the special call meeting is held on December 21st. Immediately following the public hearing was sent out to all council members. Did y'all in fact receive them and have a chance to review?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I make a motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. It's been moved and properly second to approve the minutes of the council meetings as written. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the next item for action is the fire department and 2 new hires. I think Chief Black is on board.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. And one is a firefighter recruit. Oops, excuse me. Mr. Brandon A. Bland, is that correct? Firefighter recruit to be hired at entry level pay of $13.13 an hour. And his effective hire date would be January 21st of this year. Is that correct?
You cut out on me. The first one you said was Brandon Bland. He would be hired in at 1313, and we'd have to send him to recruit school. And
That's
the second one is Michael
Kane.
Shane. That's right. And
Right.
he is firefighter at Bruton Fire Department and has 11 years experience and a lot of certifications. So we wanted to bring him in a little more at 1665. Which is what we brought Eric McKenzie in when we hired him from Montgomery.
Okay. So his effective date is to be determined. Will he be leaving Bruton coming here?
His intention is he wants to work both places so we can make the shifts work out because both places would be 24/48. But we would hire him probably closer to end of February.
Okay. Are there any requirements about how many hours they have to be off between shifts?
No, sir. They can actually work as long as they're off from that one shift. Those 24 hours. It's actually some departments work 24/24. So as long as he's got a 24-hour break, between any of them. And what his intentions are is if everything works out right is to leave Bruton.
Okay. Okay. All right. At this point, do I have a motion to hire these 2 firefighters at the salaries presented and the dates of hire? One is January 21st and the other one is to be determined.
And the reason for bringing the other one in at January 21st is we got to get him ready to go to recruit school, which starts in, I think they've moved it to March. It was February.
Okay. Okay.
I'll make that in a motion, Mayor, with the existing pay scale that we have as of right now. I agree with that. I think that's fair enough.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Thank you.
All right. Next item for action concerns the senior center fence around the dumpster and the generator. And we have a quote of $5,594.90. Is that 90 cents? Oh, $5,594. And I think the existing fence has gone through and it's such a bad deteriorated to such an extent that it's time for it to be replaced. The funding will come from the general fund contingency fund. Do I have a motion to approve this purchase?
Also move.
Okay, do I have, Ms. McDaniel, you might want to unmute your phone. Okay, do I have a second?
I
think Ms. McDaniel said it.
Oh, okay.
I made the motion. I don't know who seconded it.
Oh, okay. You had cut off for a second.
Yeah, we had I think Councilman Fogle made the motion.
Okay, well,
You seconded?
I second it.
Okay, all right. Okay, any discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item for action has to deal with Green Product Technologies rent waiver. I know they had a big issue out there when the hurricane came through and flooded the building, and Public Works, they went out to put sandbags in to try and help protect the machinery. And in the past, I know the city had gone through, because of those type of damages, they had waived half the rent. And so that is what this request is, and I think that's for the month of December, to waive half that rent. Do I have a motion to waive half the rent for the month of December for Green Technologies?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yes. Why were we not made aware of this quicker? Because there was supposed to be an email that's supposed to be at the end of November sent out, asking for some concern or compensation at that point. We've had 2 meetings since then without any information on this. Am I correct in what I'm saying about that or not?
I do know that I saw an email in December concerning this, and when it came up, that's when I said I was going to put it on the agenda for this council meeting, and to go back to make sure that it happened. I'm not. Yeah, I guess in the holiday time, everybody being off and everything, it got missed. So.
Okay.
But we will work diligently next time, make sure that that does not happen again.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think just the regularity of some things. If we need to correct them or whatever, we need to address that also. But I know he's having issues with it, and I understand that, and a complaint for that part, because he's our tenant. But,
right. Now, the other thing that we did do was we moved forward with getting with Amic to go out there and get the roof repaired, and I think that's been accomplished at this point.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a motion that's been properly second. All in favor?
All right.
All right. Okay. Okay, the next item was a discussion concerning the request for bids for landscaping work at the city. If it's okay with the council, we will table that to a later date. Okay, minutes to be presented by the mayor and the council. The matter that I discussed a little bit earlier is concerning building improvements and for an RFP for the Sterling building in the industrial park. And is the thing to do is to request an RFP from a lending institution to pay for the building improvements, and then to submit a to bid the actual improvements on the building, the scope of work on the building. So do I have a motion to proceed with these items?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? They're being done. Do I have a, well, yeah, all in favor? Okay. All right. Now we have any matters to present by the council members. Councilman Hines?
No, sir.
Okay. Councilman Focal?
No, just be.
Councilman Ruffin?
No.
Councilman Bruton?
Yes, sir. One thing I wanted to make a motion that we allow to have AMIC handle the pavilion repairs at the community house.
Okay. So there's a motion to allow AMIC to make the repairs to the pavilion at the community house. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
One more item, Mayor. I had several calls about the gate over at Rockwood not functioning in over a month's time. I'd like to see that gate get fixed so that only the residents would have access and the general public couldn't just go in there.
Okay, yeah, is Rockwood a private development?
Yes, sir, it is. Some time ago, though, the city had an agreement with them that they would maintain security and a gate to help reduce the amount of incidents that were going on inside there. So.
Okay. Can we go back and research that and find that agreement? And
yes, sir. I believe it. It was before my time too. It was probably in the late '80s, but
okay,
we can look that up.
Okay, we'll go back and we'll look that up and get with them to, if it's part of the code or whatever, to make sure that it's enforced.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Ms. McDaniel?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Councilman Thomas?
I don't have anything.
Have anything? Okay. How about department heads? Chief Black?
No.
Okay. Chief Armstrong?
No, sir.
Okay. Michael?
No, sir.
Okay. How about is Tim, are you up? Okay. What about Ms. Atkins? Sandra? No. And Don Bruton? Okay. And Ms. Jackson doesn't have anything. Well, that concludes all of the items on the agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
I'll make
motion.
that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
All right. Thank you.